Go.
Hello, my name is Matthew Schroeder, and for this week's persuasive speech, I'm going to be talking about the Second Amendment. I'm also going to be talking about, does gun control lower crime? And do the police protect us? How many states have a right to carry permits? And my opinion on the subject. The Second Amendment. A well-regulated militia being necessary for the security of a free state. The rights of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Does gun control lower crime? According to OpposingViews.com, the NRA stated the FBI just reported crime statistics for 2007, showing the violent crime rate and murder has dropped 38% and 43% respectively since 1991. Since 2002, violent crime has been lower than any time since 1974. And since 1999, murder has been lower than any time since 1966. According to GunControlPolicy.com, a study released by the Justice Department suggested that background checks at gun shows would do little to keep firearms out of the hands of criminals. The finding makes perfect sense because criminals rarely frequent gun shows. The study noted that the number of criminals who obtained guns from retail outlets was dwarfed by the number of those who picked up their arms through means other than legal purchases. The report was the result of interviews with more than 18,000 state and federal inmates, and it was conducted throughout the nation. It found that nearly 80% of those interviewed got their guns from friends, family, or on the streets, all illegal gun purchases. Less than 9% bought at retail outlets, and only 0.7% bought from gun shows. The Justice Department interview also showed the so-called assault weapons bill are not a major cause of gun violence. Only 8% of the inmates used one of the models covered in the now expired assault weapons ban signed by the Clinton administration in 1994. Moreover, a use of gun is not defined by its firing operation, but by its illegal possession. Included in the 8% of the inmates who used the assault weapons are individuals convicted for the mere possession of those guns, even if criminal intent was not omitted. These findings can add to the currently existing pile of evidence that shows no conclusion between gun control and lower crime rates. Do the police protect us? According to FindTheCase.com, the United States Court of Appeals for the Seventh Circuit in the case of Bowers versus DeVito, I think I'm saying the man's name right, it's spelled D-E-V-I-T-O, ruled an individual does not have a constitutional right to protection of police. The police do not have to protect us. We are responsible for our own safety. Since this court ruling that says that the police don't need to protect us, one might want to go out and buy a firearm for his protection. He might want to carry a concealed weapon, or she might want to carry a concealed weapon, but not sure if their state honors it. Let's see what mccw.org says. 66.7% of the United States population lives in a right to carry or a shall issue state. A right to carry state is You go out, buy a firearm, strap it on your side, carry it openly, or carry it concealed. It does not matter. You do not need a permit in your state to carry it. And them states are Arizona, Alaska, and Vermont. 37 states is a shall issue state, meaning the government cannot deny you a permit to carry a firearm concealed if you're not a felon or a violent criminal. The remaining thirds are divided thusly. 27.1 is a right restricted state. That's 8 states. In them states, you need a good reason for carrying a firearm. You need permission from that state to carry a gun. 6.3% is rights denied. That's only 2 states out of the 50 states that deny your rights, and that's Wisconsin, and guess what? Illinois, where President Obama's from. That's totally unconstitutional. They don't honor your right, Second Amendment right, to keep and bear arms. My opinion on the matter: even the FBI and Justice Department, our own government, studies prove that gun control does not work. One might say, why do we have gun control when it doesn't lower crime rates? I would tell that person, the anti-gun politician wants to rule us by disarming us and ruling its unarmed peasants. It's a lot easier to rule an unarmed peasant than it is an armed peasant. For example, in Katrina, the New Orleans chief of police, when Katrina happened, called for the New Orleans citizens to bring in their firearms to the police department, called for a disarmament of New Orleans City. People from New Orleans that were trying to get out of wetlands, and wetland, their homes were flooded, crossed the bridge to drier land. And the Louisiana State Police shot at them. Now you got to remember this. What did I tell you earlier? That the chief of police called for a disarmament. The state police shot at these people. Isn't that convenient? Disarm them and then shoot at them. The police are not our friends. Okay? They're there to convict us, not protect us. And the 7th Circuit proved that. And the FBI and the ATF shot at the Davidians in Waco, Texas. They threw gas in their compound and lit their compound on fire and watched innocent women and children burn down to the ground, burned to death. They murdered them people. And in the Patriot Act in 2008, they called people that use the Constitution or refer to their Bill of Rights as domestic terrorists. If you have libertarian philosophy, or if you have pro-gun stickers on your truck, or if you have a Ron Paul sticker on your truck, you're a domestic terrorist. They called some of our veterans that fought in the war in Iraq and Afghanistan terrorists. This is wrong. George Bush is a Nazi. It's both parties. And I'm going to blame George Bush and call him a Nazi because the Republican Party goes around saying, oh, we're for the Bill of Rights, we're for the Constitution, but they make laws like the Patriot Act, the Real ID Act, they ban our firearms, and they call us domestic terrorists. They send us to war, and people come back, and they might have a Ron Paul sticker on their truck, and they call them domestic terrorists after they fought for our rights. George Washington said it best, okay, that the Second Amendment is the teeth of the Bill of Rights. If you love the Republic and the Constitution, you will stand up and defend the Second Amendment, because the Second Amendment defends our Bill of Rights. And That's very serious. The Second Amendment is not about hunting. It's not, you don't have a right to go out and shoot Bambi. That's a privilege. You buy a hunting license, you go out, if you get a deer and you abide by the law, you're safe. If you don't abide by the law, the Game Commission takes your license away and takes your privileges away. Doesn't take your Second Amendment away. Doesn't take your firearm, because they can't. That's protected under the Second Amendment. What I propose is a revolution. Like the Ron Paul revolution, a peaceful revolution, you know. In 2008, the word revolution, E-V-O-L, was backwards. You know why? Because it spells love. It was a revolution of love. A love for the Republic. A love for the Constitution. And that's what I'm calling for. Every American that loves the Republic, loves the Constitution, Democrat, Republican, both parties violated the Constitution. Both parties treat the Constitution like trash. But it doesn't matter. If you love the Constitution and you love this Republic, take it to the streets and let our government know we will not stand for the murder and then the cover-up of Waco, Texas, in the Davidians. They murdered them people. We will not stand for the state police in Louisiana at Katrina shooting at unarmed citizens. We will not stand and fight veterans that fought in Iraq and Afghanistan and that had a Ron Paul sticker on the back of his vehicle be called a terrorist. Or if you're a libertarian philosophy, or if you have a pro-gun sticker on your truck, you're a terrorist? Come on. I'm not going to stand for it. I hope you don't either. So join me in the revolution. And yes, the revolution is alive and well. And it continues. And power to the people. And let the people be armed for the sake of the Republic. Lock and load for the sake of the Republic. Just in case. Let the revolution be peaceful. But lock and load just in case it's not. That our government takes our rights away. Let them know we have the power. The power belongs to the people. And we refuse to be disarmed. We love this country. And we will fight and die for this country. But we want our rights back. Thank you for listening to my speech. And have a good day. And God bless the Republic.